Hello, thank you for joining me in a new video. This time I have the new Honor Magic V in my hands to give you a first look and share its specifications. 1. Personal opinion. So let's get started. This device, like the previous generation, primarily focuses on offering you an ultra-slim design, but in this case, it doesn't make as many sacrifices as we saw in the previous generation. For example, it now integrates an IPX water resistance level, in fact reaching this level at 2.5 meters. So it really is a device that has achieved a very good level of durability, as I mentioned, while maintaining the same philosophy of providing you with an ultra-slim design capable of competing and comparing with traditional format devices. So the truth is that it is very impressive in that aspect. In fact, it has also improved the camera system and integrates some artificial intelligence features. So join me to learn more about it in depth. So, here I have the green color in my hands, but it is also available in black and reddish brown, so the color palette is quite good, and in terms of design, it is clear that it stands out by incorporating this octagonal module in the camera. The truth is that it looks attractive, it looks nice, it looks like a high-end device should look. The thickness, to be exact, is 9.2 millimeters for the black edition, which is the thinnest, while both the green edition and the reddish-brown edition have a thickness of 9.3 millimeters. In fact, there will also be differences in weight. In this case, it is 230 g, although the black edition is the thinnest and lightest, reaching a weight of 226 g. The back cover of the black edition also features a special fiber to enhance drop resistance, so according to Honor's figures, it is 40 times more resistant to drops compared to traditional smartphones. So in a way, they are trying to break the stigma that many people have regarding foldables being fragile devices, as in this case, they withstand drops very well. Regarding the hinge and its durability, it is called the Super Steel hinge, supports 500 folds and unfolds, and has also passed the SGS certification, so it is truly a very durable hinge, very good. As you can see, it also has a good level of stiffness, perhaps not so much at the tighter angles, but I think it is sufficient to work in different formats. Remember that with a foldable device, you could, for example, work this way, or you could also fold it this way to try to direct the camera towards a specific angle. On the front, it integrates nano crystal shield as a special, extremely tough glass that will withstand drops and scratches very well. As I mentioned before, it also has IPX water resistance up to 2.5 meters. Regarding the display, we will find a diagonal size of 6 and 43 inches, with a 20:9 aspect ratio. This is worth highlighting because it is a traditional ratio like other smartphones, which is why it doesn't look narrower or have an odd format compared to other foldables that we might encounter. The resolution, to be exact, is 2376 x 1060 pixels, achieving a density of 404 pixels per inch on this external screen, so it is very good. It even has a peak brightness of 5 millimeters, making it an exceptionally good display even under sunlight, although obviously, the peak of 5000 nits applies when viewing HDR content in specific areas of the screen. Regarding the internal display, I want you to see that it has a very square aspect ratio. To be precise, it is 8:1, so as you can see, it is almost square. The resolution is 2344 x 2156 pixels and its diagonal measures 7.92 inches, achieving a density of over 400 pixels per inch, which provides a very good level of detail. In both cases, both on the internal screen and the external screen, we will find a dimming rate of 4320 Hz so that when you have the brightness low, especially at night for example, you can have a very comfortable view because the flicker does not strain your eyes. Honor also integrates a feature called AI to focus to simulate special lenses that protect vision. So it is a display that is not only very good in terms of viewing quality but also very comfortable in terms of visual comfort, as you can see here. We will also find some distinct color calibration modes, and despite being very thin, it integrates stereo sound. It even has infrared so that it can function as a universal remote control. At the bottom is its second speaker, so we have everything we could ask for in a high-end device. As you can see, it integrates two front cameras, one external and another internal front camera that, as you can see, is through a hole in the screen. In both cases, it is a camera with the same details, 20 megapixels with an f aperture. Let's take a test photo. It will be a camera with fixed focus, but with a good level of detail. The good news is that it supports recording in K, so it can provide us with good features. And also at the software level, it seems to have all the functions we could ask for, allowing us to take a selfie, for example, with any of the cameras in the rear system. So you could have a very good ultra-wide perspective, although the front cameras are not capable of recording at 60 frames per second when you are using K resolution. However, if you use the rear system, you could reach 60 frames per second even with the ultra-wide camera or also with the zoom camera if you want to show some detail of your face. But just talking about this rear camera system, we will find a main 50 megapixel camera with an f/1.6 aperture and optical stabilization. Next is a 40 megapixel ultra-wide camera with an f/2.2 aperture. In this case, it is an ultra-wide camera that has autofocus, so it also works for macro photography. Finally, there is the periscope camera located at the top, which will provide us with a 3.5x optical zoom with an f/aperture and optical stabilization as well. So, it is a camera that has good optical reach, although the aperture makes me doubt how good the zoom photography could be indoors or at night. However, outdoors, I believe it will have good quality for this type of zoom photography. Well, here we have some results just from first impressions of this camera. I'm indoors with artificial light, so it's a bit of a strange environment for testing, but look, this would be the ultra-wide camera. I think we will find good quality in it. Next, the main camera, and as we get a little closer, it offers 2x zoom. Let me see if it maintains optical quality. I believe we find good quality. Later, 3.5x where we find completely optical zoom. This is a photo with 10x zoom. We are talking about digital zoom, but I think it gives us a good result. I insist, the environment I am in is a bit complicated to test the zoom, but here I also take a photo with 10x zoom and I think the result looks good. This is a photograph taken with 30x zoom, but the environment I'm in prevents me from testing the zoom more thoroughly. However, I must say that it seems to have an algorithm capable of highlighting textures that could yield good results. The battery is definitely impressive considering how thin this device is, as it reaches 5,150 milliamperes, which is a higher capacity than what we usually see in traditional format devices. Generally, in foldable devices, we were accustomed to seeing a smaller battery due to design constraints, but the truth is that in this case, I insist, it is very surprising that Honor has achieved this battery capacity in such a compact and thin device. It supports 66 watts of wired charging and 50 watts of wireless charging. We will also find the reverse wireless charging feature, which is important because these are details that were not present in previous generations and somehow helped us understand or justify the slim thickness of this device. However, in this case, it is a very slim device that practically has everything we could ask for on the back cover, such as wireless charging and reverse wireless charging, in addition to a tremendous battery. Honestly, it is surprising what Honor has achieved in terms of design with this device, and clearly, in terms of software, we will find Magic OS 8.0.1 based on Android 14. In this case, Honor has not shared the update policy for this device, as that could be a point where it can still be surpassed by its rivals. Additionally, in terms of software, it also integrates some artificial intelligence tools. Watch as for the first time its Magic Eraser appears in collaboration with Google Cloud, which is quite interesting. Let's see, in this initial test how it performs. Although it's a basic test, we will try to erase, for example, this area. It has detected it, and it immediately starts to work. This feature requires an internet connection, so let's see what it is capable of doing, as there were some letters on the back that could complicate the result a lot. But honestly, it has been a very good and pleasant result. Observe the difference. I believe that without a doubt, it is a feature that can be very useful due to its good accuracy, although I insist, it requires an internet connection. Within the Honor Notes application, there is also a voice recorder feature, which, as you will notice, is capable of transcribing text from different languages. A total of 10 languages are supported, and you can label the participants in the conversation with different tags. In this case, I am speaking in Spanish, which is why it is unable to detect my language. In fact, notice how Spanish does not appear as available at the time of recording this video, although remember that we are still using units with previous software. Hopefully, when it is launched in Mexico, it will support the Spanish language. Finally, regarding the performance that this device is capable of achieving, remember that it has a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 with 12 GB of RAM and 512 GB of storage. So, well, this has been all for this first look at this device that can undoubtedly be very appealing. However, I will make a special request at the end of this video. We will have to wait to see how long it will take for Honor to launch this device in Mexico, as it is important to remember that it is a device that has already been released in China for some time. It finally saw its global launch today for Europe, but the previous generation took a long time to arrive in Mexico. So let's hope that this device can arrive in Mexico before 2025, because it could really be an excellent competitor to the Galaxy Z Fold 6. As a curious fact, it is supposed to support an additional stylus, but there is currently none on display and no further details were provided about it, so it is likely that it will not be distributed with this stylus for the time being. We have reached the end of this video. I hope you liked it. If so, you know you can let us know, and we'll see you next time.